Hey Spencer. Hi CK Katana and hi Izuku. Oh, hey Ian. Bakit pinbusol agad? What the fuck? Hey Ian. Oh, Ian redeemed the bean boozle right at the start of the stream. Okay. I see you. Hey Aubrey. Hi there on the YouTube set. So yeah, well, I gotta go down the stairs and get my bean boozle from the fridge then. I'll be right back, wait. Let me go get the bean boozle before we start then. Okay, I got my bean boozle. Me. Up. Berry blue or toothpaste. You know what? Whichever goes, I guess. Yeah, that's the only blue bean on this thing. I will see if it's bad bean or good bean. At least it's toothpaste, yeah. At least it's toothpaste, I guess. Not gonna be that bad, hopefully. That's toothpaste. That's toothpaste. Well, it's a bad bean, but it's not really that bad. Yeah. It's a bad bean, but it's not that bad. Because it's toothpaste. Yeah, it's the most mid bad bean. No, it's just like it's like I just yeah, it's just like I did some toothbrushing. What the fuck? Yeah. We're okay for this playthrough though. I am most likely gonna skip anything that I've read already. So let me see the options real quick. Text, yes. Skip mode, red. Okay, there you go. So we all good on the settings then. No, you don't stink a bit. Hey, I toothbrush regularly. Toothbrush and accidentally swallow toothpaste. I mean, I think we've done that like probably a few times or a lot when we were kids, right? Like, right? When we were younger, we most likely did that. Hey Joshua. Is there a mod application anytime soon? Not really. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure I did that when I was younger, just to know what it's like. But yeah. Yeah, I'm starting a new game. And I'm gonna use the same name. We're gonna be skipping anything I've read already. So this is probably a faster playthrough than before. The only thing I'm not skipping is new things. New things that I have not read before. Like some dialogues, probably. Some choices. And most likely the route itself, because we haven't seen the route yet. So, let's see. Okay, I'm skipping the I'm skipping the opening. I'm skipping that, okay. Well, knowing how Hugo is already, I mean, for this run, we're going with Hugo. Let me start on one new page for the saves. Makes sense, just so we're gonna be a new route and different ending. Who are you picking this time? This guy. This guy on the screen. We're gonna say no, I'm okay. And since that's the same choice, I guess this one we're not skipping since a minigame. Yay! And as usual, we're just gonna do that. Hugo route. Got it, yeah? Okay, yeah, we've seen those lines, we've seen those. Nothing really changed that much. Okay, yeah, the choices we've made already are highlighted as pink over there when we're not on it. For this one, let's see. Fountain is most likely gonna be Kyrie. Teacups is most likely Leon. Employee tents is most likely Lucille. So I'm guessing that Hugo is at the gate. If not, we're just gonna load back. Well, ain't that convenient? Hey. Made my way to the front gate, where I found Monsieur Hugo greeting guests. Yep, there you go. Guess right. Wow, there's so many people. A long line of guests snaked down past the gates, only gradually shortening as people bought their tickets. It warmed my heart to see so many people here to visit the amusement park. Monsieur Hugo noticed me and came over once there was a lull in the guests. His beaming smile caught me a little by surprise. I wanted to see the kind of work a park director does. You come out to greet guests every morning? Hey Tatsu! Welcome to the stream.
子供向けの催しを増やすし、大人が多ければ落ち着いた雰囲気に変える。そういった
Being a director sure sounds like a complicated job.
じゃあ俺はお客さんのところに戻るけれど、君は好きなだけここにいてくれて構わないよ。
Yeah, I got to. I continue to watch until the influx of guests slowed to a crawl. Okay. How goes? Doing fine. I just started, so yeah. Okay, I have to know if I can skip this. Yep, I can. Okay, these are common route things. Well, since we're not going for Sergey, we're gonna have to say well done. We're gonna have to say this. Since the other option is a point for Sergey. I'm staring at the FF14 launcher for the next 3 hours. Oh. Right, it's like, isn't it like maintenance now, or?
Oh.
His previously tender demeanor had seemingly vanished with the rain. So you play every time it rains?
Nope,
okay, I think this line is repeated now, so I can just skip this. We just really need to get to the route itself. Okay, a lot of dialogues I've read, okay. The patch is coming up, yes. Maintenance started an hour ago. We'll be going for 3 more hours. Ah, okay. We can talk about the tart, I guess. Wait, let me save here. I'm actually not sure for this one. Talk about the tart. And I know that I picked that choice before, so I can just skip that. Oh, this one's new. Oh, it's a mini game. Okay, that's why. Let's do the mini game. No, I don't like. I don't wanna.
いい調子だね。魔法の光を捉えるんだ。そのまま続けて。
Forgot about this mini game. Yeah, we gotta do the mini game every time.
さすがだね。君は本当に頑張り屋さんだ。
Like, it doesn't really matter if you do it or not. But it's a mini game. Gotta do it. Wonder if I'm getting any better. Also, have I seen this one? Yep, I have. Yeah, I have. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about this choice, so I'm saving. It's how, where is it? No, I don't think so. The only difference between you and me is that you've got a costume on. Yep. Yeah, we're in chapter 3 now. And I think the route starts at chapter 4, so yeah. Okay, this one I've seen. chapters. Doesn't sound like you. Yep. Yeah, I think this is these are choices that avoids the point on the character. So just gonna do those. Yeah. So I'm just picking any other choice that I've made already that potentially doesn't give any points to the characters that I'm talking to. Except for Hugo. Oh, here we go. There we are. This is chapter. Like, that's fast. Yeah. And if I remember, we have 8 chapters. So we're on chapter 4. We'll see how long we're gonna go for this stream, but yeah, we have 8 chapters in total. If only I could regain my magic, I'd be able to free everyone from the reverie. I want to do everything in my power to help them. My elation at the progress I'd made yesterday still lingered within me as I greeted the visitors passing through the front gate. Look at those smiles. I guess I'm doing my job right. Yeah, this might be a fast chapter. Heck, you might finish 2 or 3 routes in one stream. Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll see how long the chapters are. Seeing the visitors' joyous expressions brought a smile to my face as well. I've kept so much hidden for so long. My magic, my feelings. Here at the Reverie, though, I don't have to hide them away. I can make them my strength. I was so overjoyed I could hardly contain myself. My smile certainly wouldn't be fading from my face anytime soon. Now that the park was open, I turned around to follow the stream of visitors into its grounds. Oh, there he is. The director, it seemed, had been standing right behind me. I nearly walked right into him, grinning like a lunatic all the while. Okay.
どうして下を向くのかな?
No, I'm sorry. My mind was elsewhere and... Well, I'm embarrassed that you saw me making a face like that.
そうなんだ。でも、今の笑顔をもう一度見たいな。
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. He's the flirty one. Yep, I thought so. I wasn't sure what to say, so I just did my best to grin once more. Monsieur Hugo chuckled and took a step closer to me.
さっきとは別物だけれど、照れた笑顔も可愛いね。
I'm sorry, controlling your own expression isn't as easy as you think it is.
でも
Is it?
いい挨拶ができていたよ。
Oh.
おかげでお客さんの足取りも軽やかだ。
I'm glad to hear it. To be honest though, I was just imitating you.
そうだったんだね。俺を手本にしてくれるとは。
He seemed pleased for a moment, but it wasn't long before his smile faded and his tone took a turn for the serious.
でも、無理はしなくていいんだよ。 毎日仕事に魔法にと忙しいだろ。魔法の覚醒だけでも大変なことなんだし、やっぱり園の仕事の方は控えようか。
Do I seem like I'm overexerting myself to you?
そうじゃない。けれど昨日も君にたくさん働いてもらったからね。あまり負担にならないよう、昼間は気楽に過ごしてくれていいんだよ。
Every word the director spoke made the consideration he was extending to me clear. Starting to understand him, he always takes care to put my well-being above all else. Using my magic to repair the manège yesterday had certainly been a first for me. It was far from a burden though. In fact, it encouraged me. Maybe that was hard to understand from an outside perspective. Thank you, but it's not a burden at all. Up until now, I've spent most of my time doing chores and whiling the hours away at home. That's why working here has been such a joy for me. Just being out and about is so much fun. I think that's why I was able to smile like I did a moment ago.
さっきみたいに?
It's... I suppose I'm just so happy to work here. To be of use to everyone, that I found myself smiling before I knew it. I can feel myself beginning to change for the better, little by little. I've never felt this way before. I'll do everything I can to live up to your expectations with my work and my magic.
Emma.
For just a moment, Monsieur Hugo's warm, gentle gaze drifted away from me, only to return before I knew it. Oh. CG. Okay, that's how you turn off the UI. There you go. Now I know how. I felt like I might lose myself in the sensation of his palm as he stroked my hair. Ooh, new photo. Yee! New photo. Yeah, he's that character in the romance games that's very sweet, kind of flirty. Someone who's just really easy to approach. Then he whispered into my ear, his voice just as gentle as his touch.
君は偉いね。君が笑顔で頑張っている姿を見ると、すごく幸せな気分になるよ。
Yeah, I felt that vibe from him too. Yeah. Also, the VA just coming close to the mic for that, okay? I hate that my headset is actually that good of a quality for me to hear that. Just to identify that. It was hard to say which felt closer. The warmth of his hand or tender tone of his voice. I knew this was just how Monsieur Hugo behaved as a matter of habit, but our close proximity set my heart aflutter anyway.
それに、
心
の中に影が落ちても、君は何度だって振り払える。今こうして話せていることが、その証拠だ。必ず前を向ける強さは素晴らしいよ。その強さがいつも俺の心に響く。
Huh? I didn't understand what he was talking about. My gaze met his, and in lieu of any answers, he simply smiled at me. Yeah, he's the... Like, he's easy to approach friendly, flirty guy in romance games, but also kind of mysterious. I mean, when I started this game, when I first played it, when we first encountered him, he talked like he knew the MC. So I'm kind of curious about that part. But it's strange. There's something else too. Something about this feels familiar. Almost up. There we go. Wasn't like when Arnold pet. There's just an insect flying over. Okay. By the side of my, like, my sight. It's like, the fuck. Wasn't like when Arnold patted me on the head. He was never that gentle about it. Something about the soft, comforting warmth of the director's hand made me feel nostalgic. Though for what I could say. Okay. Oh. Before I could even begin to question him, the director pulled his hand away from me. Okay.
楽しいお仕事を始めよう。引き続きよろしく頼むよ、エマ。
Yeah, really curious. It's there's theme of I know the MC has kind of an amnesia, but yeah, there's a theme of like he feels familiar to the MC, and yeah, something that Hugo is not telling us something. The director paused for a moment to fine-tune his posture, then strolled over to the ticket booth.
お困りですか、ムシュー。チケットの買い方でしたらご案内いたします。
And I see an insect on my screen. What the fuck? Felt like he knows her, and the MC felt like she knows him. Childhood friends, maybe? I'm just theorizing. That's one, I guess? Huh. He had the visitor's attention in an instant and was ushering them along the time of their dreams before I knew it. Damn. I can tell he's not just giving me special treatment. Monsieur Hugo is kind and helpful to everyone, even our visitors. I know that for sure after watching him for this past week. This must be why everyone respects and appreciates him so much. He'll give anyone his full and earnest attention, treating them with the utmost sincerity. It's amazing. I paused to admire the director's display and happened to make eye contact with Courier as he passed by the gate.
さすがだよな。誰にでも優しいし気遣いすげえし、よくあれだけ愛想よく振る舞えるもんだよな。
It seemed Courier had been watching as well. All I could do was nod in agreement.
ほんと園長は冷血メガネのセルジュさんとは大違いだよな。っていやそう思うだろう。あれだけピアノがうまいんだからもうちょっと愛想よくして表に出ればいいのに。
Damn, talking behind Sergey's back like that.
ヒューゴさんを尊敬してるならその辺もさ。
Behind you, buddy. Courier, he's right behind you.
Huh?
Sergey had, in fact, already been within earshot when Courier first brought him up. Courier, it seemed, had been completely oblivious.
いや、今のはなんつうかちょっとした冗談的な。
Sergey didn't say a word. Courier and I wilted and trembled under the intensity of his gaze until surprisingly he nodded.
その通りだ。 その通りだと言ったんだ。誰にでも優しく、些細なことも見逃さない。園長としては完璧な対応だ。その点、私とは大きな違いがある。
Right.
だからその通りだと言ったんだ。
I mean, right, we did go through his route and we did find out that he's more, you know, like, he thinks lowly of himself more than we actually know. Like, if he does like a bad job, he actually beats himself up with that.
おう、自覚はあったのな。
あるに決まっているだろう。だから私はヒューゴを尊敬している。
Yeah, and he trusts Hugo so much.
だったら真似すりゃいいじゃん。もっとヒューゴさんみたいに愛想よく振る舞うとか。
It's been 1 week. Yeah, fair.
それはできない。
So I can see why he
ヒュ
agreed.
ーゴの愛想の良さを評価しているわけではないからな。
I don't think I follow.
もちろん彼の一部として評価はしているが、重要なのはそれを努力で身につけた点だろう。
What do you mean effort?
今でこそああして社交的だが、以前は限られた人間としか話さなかったと聞く。どちらかというと
Oh,
不愛想な方だったようだし。
was he now?
園長が全然
Yeah.
想像できねえ。
That's
元は遊園地の遊具技師だ。そう考えれば
All
武骨
right.
さにも納得がいく。
Hugo, yeah, Hugo can deal with machinery, so it was almost funny how talkative Sergey became when the director was the subject of the hour. Yeah. And thanks to his newfound penchant for conversation, I just learned a surprising truth. Monsieur Hugo was the park's engineer?
この遊園地のマネージとオートマタも全てヒューゴが作ったものだ。
Hugo made all
どれだけ
the
技師として優秀かが
things
わかる。
here.
それは知ってるけどさ、
うん
昔は愛想なかったってのが想像できね
園長としてふさわしい姿になれるよう努力したのだろう。ヒューゴは目的と手段が明確だ。目的のために何をどうするかよく分かっている。そのためなら自分を変えることもできるのだろう。まあ多少のきっかけはあったのかもしれないが、ともあれ理想のために努力する姿は誰しも手本にするべきだ。
Sergey having more than 5 lines of text is something. All because it's about Hugo. Okay, buddy.
あなたたちも達成したい目的があるのなら手段を明確にするといい。例えば
え。まだ続くのかよ、そのヒューゴ語り。
お前に振られた話だと思ったが。
俺のせいかよ。はいはい、わかったよ。園長はすげえな。
Hey, Potato. How you doing?
実感が伴っていない。
ダメ出しまですんのかよ。
As I idly listened to Sergey and Krieger bicker, my mind drifted elsewhere. Monsieur Hugo made the menage and all of the automatons. He was talented but unfriendly engineer. Krieger is right, I can't picture any of that. But maybe that's his secret. Maybe he can make being kind to everyone look easy because he put in so much effort in the past. Doing alright, and you? Oh, doing fine. Chillin'. Anything about Hugo, Sergey will instantly talk like he has been waiting to talk about him so much to someone. Yeah, like I know Hugo saved his life. Like we all know that. Since we went through his route before. But like, bro, him suddenly having more than 5 text box worth of dialogue, like, oh wow. Like in one go. Wow. As the orange globe sunset crept across the sky, the sound of the visitors' voices faded into the distance. Minigame time? Meanwhile, I got to work awakening my magic as usual. Okay, minigame time. No, we do the minigame.
始めようか。魔法の光を捉えるんだ。そのまま続けて。いい調子だね。
Yeah, it's funny, but at least we know why. Kinda wholesome, yeah?
やっぱり君は最高の魔女だよ。
Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. I did, but I wonder. Am I really doing enough? Whose route are you doing now? Hugo. Yeah, the guy with the white hair. The park director. When my magic awakened, I'd end up freeing everyone from the referee's spell. I'd resolved myself to see it through. Well, I'd been working as hard as I could. When push came to shove, part of me was afraid to face my own magic. What if things only worked out yesterday by chance? I'm still so inexperienced after all. I'm nowhere near confident enough that I'll be able to manage this. I was scared that at the rate things were going, my time limit would lapse and the review would move on long before I could finish my task. I have to make a change. I reached out before me, grasping for my own potential. Unfortunately, the only thing that ended up growing was the restless impatience within me. It was only then when I looked at the shadows that fell over my head that I realized how quickly night was setting in. Oh. I'd been concentrating so single-mindedly on my magical practice that I'd failed to realize how late it was. The grounds of the reverie was silent. Even the day's cleanup was finished. I have to go home right away before Arnold and Madame Alice start worrying about me. As I turned to leave, I suddenly thought back to what Sergei had told me that afternoon.
あなたたちも達成したい目的があるのなら手段を明確にするといい。例えば
Now that I think about it, I don't even understand the principles that guide my magic's awakening to begin with. What is magic really? What do you need to use it? I can't define what I'm supposed to be doing at all. I should talk with everyone about this tomorrow. I need some sort of clue, no matter how small it might be. If I can just find one area to apply myself in, then I can focus upon it and move toward my desired outcome, little by little. Like Sergei told me, and like the director showed me. Asking everyone for advice was easier said than done. The Revier's staff was always so busy with their work. Just when I found myself at a loss, however, the director invited me to join him and the others for dinner.
親睦を深めることも大切だからね。全員で集まってゆっくり話しながら食事を楽しもう。
Even Lucio made an appearance for once. I can only assume the others had strong-armed him into attending. Oh, they forced him? Okay. The atmosphere at the dining table was calm and peaceful, and the food arrived so fresh. It was still steaming. It wasn't until we'd finished our main course and moved on to dessert that I finally managed to speak up. I'm so surprised by how delicious the food here is.
そうだろう。魔法で全員の好みまで把握しているからね。
It does?
そうなの？
そんなわけないでしょ。冗談がわかりにくいですよ、ヒューコさん。
ごめん。そのくらいには美味しい料理だよね。
So magic can make truly delicious food, but it can't tailor that food to an individual's preferences.
ん？難しい顔でどうしたのかな？
I was just wondering what magic's limitations were, that's all.
なるほど。もちろんやろうと思えば不可能ではないんだろうけれど。
It seemed the subject of magic had piqued everyone's interest. The conversation had suddenly grown much livelier.
できんのか？嫌いな食べ物を料理から抜いたりも？
それは食べてほしいところだわ。
へえ、今まで出てきた料理を食べるだけで。
だろうな。
Everyone soon chimed in to agree with Leon and Sergei. It only made sense. Magic was surely an enigma to those who couldn't use it. I imagine they had concluded that there wasn't any sense in thinking too deeply about how it worked. I was just thinking that learning more about this sort of thing could help me understand magic in whole.
魔法の理解。それはつまり魔法の覚醒に役立てたいからということかな？
That's right. If there's anything that any of you can teach me about magic, I'd be most obliged. I finally managed to ask a question I'd been working up to that whole time. The response, however, was unencouraging.
魔法についてね。
それは私に聞くことではないな。
うわ、即答すぎるだろ。って言っても俺も答えられることなんて何もねえけど。
うん。私も。ごめんね。
僕も難しい話はわからないな。
Is that true? Everyone's gazes turned to Lucille, who remained stubbornly silent.
少なくとも僕よりは。
Leon prompted Lucille once more, but Lucille responded with a scowl.
詳しかろうがなかろうが、あなたの欲しい答えを提示するつもりはありません。
What do you mean? I think he means what he means, girl.
僕としてはいつまでも魔法を覚醒させないでもらえるとありがたいからです。
I found myself at a loss for words. I never imagined he'd look me in the eye and tell me not to awaken my magic here in front of everyone.
またそんなことを。ヒューゴの決めた方針に異論があるのか？そこで黙っていてもわからないだろう。意見があるのなら口に出すべきだ。
セルジュ、その話はまた今度で。エマ、魔法について知りたいのであれば、俺の書物を貸そう。実際に試す方が早いと思っていたけれど、確かに本で理論を知ることも大事かもしれないね。
In the blink of an eye, Monsieur Hugo drove away the awkward conflict that had been brewing and addressed me with a smile. Monsieur's words were still bothering me, but that didn't strike me as the sort of conversation that had to happen in front of everyone at the dinner table. Oh.
食事を終えたら俺のテントへ置いて。好きな本を選ぶといい。
That brought the subject of magic to an end, and we moved on to discussing the blank much we'd been served for dessert. Soon all awkwardness was forgotten. Okay. Dinner drew to a close and Monsieur Hugo let me out of the dining room. As we stepped outside, it struck me how quiet the grounds felt. I glanced beside me at the director, who smiled as our gazes met.
さっきのルシオールの話だけれど。
あ、
驚いただろ。ごめんね。君は気にしなくていいから。
You said not to worry about it, but I'm worried about it. Maybe I'll worry about it when I get to the other route, I guess. Is it?
彼には彼の言い分があるけれど、本気でそう思っているのなら、もっとやりようがあるはずだからね。それをしないということは、彼の中でもまだ答えが出ていないということだ。このまま進むのが一番いい。
It almost sounded like the director was talking to himself rather than me. I glanced over at his face once more. A moment later, though, he returned to his usual self.
君が魔法を覚醒させるために日々努力し、霊部のために尽くしてくれていることはみんな感謝しているんだよ。何より無理を言ってお願いを聞いてもらっている俺自身がね。
Monsieur Hugo always prioritizes my well-being above all else. But how do I feel? Oh boy. Save that. I'm pretty sure Hugo won't want us to push ourselves too far, so I'm not pushing myself. I don't think I've been pushing myself. You should try not to worry so much as well, Monsieur Hugo. I'm waking up my magic and working at the Rivier by my own will after all. I found myself getting a little heated as I spoke and stepped closer to him. I didn't even realize what I was doing until I was so close that my sleeve brushed up against his jacket. The second it struck me how close I was, I, of course, jumped back again. The director chuckled.
ありがとう。
The director's tent boasted a bookshelf that was packed with far more volumes than I'd expected. Some had intricately detailed spines, while others were seemingly ancient parchment tomes. Some were written in text I couldn't begin to decipher, while others were practically picture books. You mean to say all these are about magic?
そうだよ。内容にだいぶ差はあるけれどね。
Bam. I can see that. Some of these seem more like fairy tales than happen to involve magic. Oh, but this one's full of formulas.
面白いだろう。理解できない部分もあるけれど、どれも興味深い内容だったよ。
So you've read all of them?
それはもちろん。そのために買い集めたんだからね。
Damn. So many books and all of them about magic. Was this all for the sake of freeing the Rivier from its spell? Now that I've seen this, I think I can understand what Monsieur Hugo was trying to tell me before. I feel more driven than ever to see this through.
ここにある書物なら好きに持って行って読んでくれていいからね。
I will, thank you again. I got right to work, flipping through one book after another. He told me I could borrow anything I wanted to, but of course I could only carry so many books. I had to narrow it down. As I browsed through his collection, the director stepped up beside me and selected a book from his shelf.
もし俺が魔法使い
Thanks
に
for the
なられ
hydrate.
て最初の一冊を
Yep,
選ぶ
hydrating.
ならこれかな。
Oh. Which one? He handed the book to me. It was rather thin, bound in red, and its cover featured a plate with a set of cutlery resting atop it. Its title, it seemed, was a muse entry? As in entrance? So it's an introduction to magic.
ここにお皿があるから前菜とかけているんだと思うよ。コース料理の入り口だね、アントレは。
I couldn't help but let out a chuckle. Never thought I'd see the study of magic compared to a course meal.
あ、もちろんアントレの続きもある。前菜、スープ、メイン料理、もろもろを経て欠かせぬデザートとカフェ。
Damn.
初心者でも流れに乗って食べきってしまえるはずだ。まずはこちらからどうぞ、マドモアゼル。
I'll take you up on that then. I'll think of it as a cookbook. That should make it nice and approachable.
素晴らしいね。料理の心得がある君ならではだ。
I wouldn't call myself a knowledgeable, really. I barely even know how course meals work.
俺もだよ。むしろこの本で学んだくらいだね。
Oh, really? As I talked with Monsieur Hugo, I gradually came to realize how tense I had been as I inspected his collection. His sense of humor had helped me relax, at least a little. Thank you again, Monsieur Hugo. Truly.
こちらこそ心から思っているよ。
Okay. The road home from the river was by no means short, and yet even after I arrived at home, I still felt the same sense of calm that had come over me in the director's den. Maybe that's thanks to the book I borrowed? It really was a charming book. It used an elaborate cooking metaphor to describe the process of learning magic. The director was right. It was a straightforward, easily understandable introduction to the subject of magic. Before anything else, I need to prepare myself mentally. I did my best to relax as I flipped through the book's pages. To start, ready your ingredients. Think of your favorite things. My favorite things? Sweets, I suppose? Though that would mean I'd be jumping straight to dessert. Any ingredient will do. If you like meat, choose meat. If you like cake, choose cake. Whatever you choose will become your appetizer. Okay. That's pretty cute for okay. It was like no cookbook I'd ever read before, but its approach appealed to me in its own right. Try to relax. Cooking and magic are all but one and the same. In either case, you have to channel all your joy and excitement into making something just the way you want it. I think that's what this book is trying to teach me. I felt certain significance to the fact that the director had chosen this book to be my first as well. To think he'd still be subtly telling me not to push myself even now. Start with what you can do. Start with what's easy. Start with what you enjoy. Suddenly, I stopped turning the pages. I looked closer at the book's creased, dog-eared pages. At their worn, battered edges. The director had hesitated for a moment to pick out this title among the countless volumes on his shelf. Is that why he's so willing to tell me to take it easy? Because he's already read so many books and done so much research on magic behind the scenes? He's read every book on that shelf, even though he can't use magic himself. He spent so long researching ways to release everyone to Rivier, and to release himself as well. Nothing's ever worked. He's trapped in the park, so to this very day. I'm the only one who can. Oh. It's alright. Magic is a force for good. I'll foster my power, awaken my magic, and release everyone. I'll save them. I'll save Monsieur Hugo. The day after I borrowed my first book from the director's library, I returned to borrow 2 more. Oh. The day after that I borrowed 3, the next day 4. The number I brought home with me grew larger and larger until one day the director walked in on me, browsing his shelf and tapped me on the shoulder.
そんなに大量の本を持ってどうするつもり？本屋でも開くのかな？
No, not at all. I just...
せく気持ちはわかるけれどね。ほら、目の下にクマが。
Oh. So, what?
冗談。でも、この本は預かるよ。
The director snatched a pile of books right out from under my nose. Wait. I hear knocking. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. He set one volume, the thinnest one, down on the table, then returned the rest to his shelf.
今日読む本はそれだけにして、ゆっくり寝て。それと、帰る前にお茶でもいかがかな。
Oh. I looked back at the table. This time I noticed a tea set and a small box lying near the book.
少し話したいこともあるから。ね。
Well, since you offered...
どうぞ。いくらでも甘えて。
Felt a little embarrassed by the director's good-natured teasing, but sat down anyway. The tea the director brewed had a lovely amber coloration, and it was wonderfully fragrant. As I speculated about the trouble he'd probably gone through to have tea like this brought into the park for himself. Huh.
砂糖はいる？いらない？
The director chuckled, then gestured toward the small box on the table.
マカロンがお茶のお供なんだけれど、それでも多めがいいかな。
Would please.
そんなに縮こまらなくても。
If If Arnold had been in the room, I just knew he would have lectured me for eating sweets as I drank sugary tea. The director, in stark contrast, drank his tea without so much as a spoonful. Do you prefer your tea unsweetened, Monsieur Hugo?
そうだね。ブランデーを入れたくなるかな。
Brandy? You drink liquor?
見えない？こう見えて25歳。立派な大人なんだけれどね。
Oh. Oh, okay. He's 25 years old. No, I wouldn't say that. I was just thinking that you never drank at dinner time.
ああ、夕食の時はね。外で買ってきてもらわなければいけないし、そうそう頻繁には飲めないんだ。
When you put it that way, I suppose that would be a problem.
ともあれ、今はお茶会ということで。こんな風にお茶をご馳走するのも初めてだし、うまく入れられたか不安だよ。
Not at all. It's delicious. You look so used to brewing it. I can hardly believe this is your first time.
レイブにいるのはあの面々だしね。みんなゆっくりお茶会というタイプでもないかな。
True. Not even Sergey? It seems like he might be the type.
セルジュ相手ならそれこそお酒だね。管を巻いては怒られるのが通例だけれど。
Right. When Sergey gets drunk, he dead. The director gave me a playful shrug and I burst out laughing. I'd really had no idea he was a liquor aficionado. Guessing you don't have much of a sweet tooth then.
少なくともそこのマカロンは君のものだよ。一つ残らず召し上がれ。
All of them? Really?
毎日頑張っている君に食べてほしくてクリエに買ってきてもらったんだ。だから全部君のもの。
Aw, that's nice. I'd expected as much. The tea and macarons hadn't been made by magic after all. Can possibly, and no matter how hard I've worked, I still haven't.
もう買ってきてしまったんだから諦めて食べてほしいな。ほら、開けてみて。
Ooh, those look nice. At the director's urging, I lifted the box's lid, found within it a pile of wonderful smelling sweets, shaped in a distinctive spiral pattern. These are macarons, really? Macarons I knew were small, circular sweets with smooth exteriors. They certainly weren't shaped like spirals, though that pattern struck me as rather stylish in its own right.
これもマカロンなんだそうだよ。珍しい形をしているよね。
Or so I'm told. Oh. How interesting. I've never seen anything like them. Damn, now I'm hungry. My curiosity quickly overwhelmed the reluctance I'd felt just moments earlier. Well then, may I try one?
もちろん。どうぞ。
I picked out one of the cookie-like sweets. As I bit it, I found it was much softer than I'd anticipated. It was sweet, but not overwhelmingly so. And the flavor of almonds came through very clearly. Oh. Okay.
よかった。声の響きが全然違うね。
I took a sip of tea, feeling a little ashamed to think my voice was that easy to read. The macarons and the tea were both delectable. It felt so strange to think that a tea party in a tent could involve sweets that tasted better than what you'd get at an upper-class party. I was enjoying myself to the fullest, and the director was clearly enjoying watching me from across the table. His gaze made me feel just a little awkward, though, so I decided to bring up a new subject. Come to think of it, I wasn't there Wasn't there something you wanted to discuss with me?
ああ、そうだったね。うん。
He rested his chin on his hand for a moment, sinking into thought, then glanced over at his bookshelf. As his gaze passed across the book's spine, he asked me a question.
君は本を読むのが苦痛ではないようだけれど。
You are, yes. I've always liked
いい
books.
ことだね。普段はどんな本を？
Nothing too complicated. For the most part, I mostly read the picture books we have at home. Frankly, I think I like picture books best in general.
うん。そうだよね。
Huh? I was surprised by how readily the director accepted my answer. It was almost as if he'd already known. I didn't recall telling him that I liked picture books, though, unless I tell you about this when we met 7 years ago. Monsieur Hugo had been staring at his books, but my question seemed to bring him back to the present moment. He turned to me once more.
いや、7年前に話したことがあったわけじゃないよ。それに話をしていたとしても、7年前じゃ俺も覚えていないかな。ただ、なんとなく、君にはそういうイメージがあったから。
What sort of image is that?
絵本やお菓子や人形、おもちゃや小物とか、勝手な印象だけれど、部屋に可愛らしいものが多そうだと思っていた。
I'm afraid you're quite mistaken. I shook my head as I pictured my room. Well, it's a cozy room. It's a perfectly normal bedroom, really. I don't even own that many picture books. Though I'll admit I am fond of cute things. I suppose the one exception would be my Manage music box.
オルゴール。ああ、前に話していたお父さんの形見のオルゴールかな。
That's right, yes. I would have to say it's the most charming decoration in my room. I keep it on my dresser, usually. It glimmers beautifully when it catches the light in just the right way. I was just about to demonstrate how large it was with my hands, launching into a detailed description, when I realized that I was doing a stop. It was embarrassing to have gotten so worked up. In any case, it's quite a lovely piece, just like the Revier's real Manage.
大事にしているんだね。
It is very much so. I've always turned it when I needed support. As I told him about the music box, my thoughts naturally turned to my past. I felt an ache in my chest. It's a wonderful music box and it's truly precious to me. I can't even remember when or how I received it. It makes me feel so heartless, I suppose. I'm sure it's just one of the many memories I lost, and yet... As my gaze dropped to the floor, the director spoke up. His voice was bright and cheerful, as if to dispel the gloom that had fallen over me.
そこの本棚の中にね、魔女の絵本もあるんだ。
About which? Really?
魔法について調べて買い漁っている時に、たまたま絵本も紛れ込んでいたんだよ。子供向けのごくありふれた話だけれど。
And is the witch in the story a good person? I've seen enough stories featuring evil witches to be immediately concerned. The director, however, how do you pronounce that?
もちろんいい魔女だよ。いたずら好きの子供が誤って魔女の家に忍び込んでしまうんだけれど。取って食べられるかと思ったら、もてなされ豪華な食事をご馳走になり、翌日には無事に返してくれるという話だね。
Oh, really? I'm glad to hear it.
でも、その子供は寝ている間に魔法をかけられて、自分の家に着く頃にはすっかり全てを忘れているんだけれど。
Okay. Hey, Tatsuya.
その子が目覚めるときに
Oh, thanks
魔
for the
女が
head
魔法を
pats.
かけるんだ。その言葉が素敵でね。
What incantation is that?
おはよう、かわいい子。朝の光がすべての記憶を奪ったとしても、あなたの心に残った喜びだけは永遠に残るから。
Hey,
だからどう
Tatsuya.
ぞ。
Even if you forget everything, the joy you felt will always remain. As the director's words echoed in my mind, he carried on, his voice soft and calm.
記憶にはなくとも心に残った思いがあるからこそ、そんなにも大切にしているんだろう。だから君が大事にしてくれているだけで嬉しいって思っているはずだよ。俺だったら嬉しい。
His words resonated with me in a deep, profound manner. The fact that it was a music box, wasn't important. It could have been anything. No matter what it was, I knew that it would have been just as precious to me. It was strange how confidently I could say that. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. My nose has been running for a bit. Excuse me. Nope. Ad break. We got ad break. Okay. Nope, since we have an ad break, I'm gonna hydrate and get something to snack on real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Think that this is something that's been bothering me for a very long time. Talking about it with you has lifted the weight from my shoulders, though thank you. Monsieur Hugo. Welcome back, E.
どういたしまして。お茶のおかわりはいかがかな？
Oh, if you won't mind. Just then I heard someone walk through the tent's flap. Oh, hi, Sergey.
急な要件があるんだが。
珍しいね。どうしたんだい？
Sergey hurried inside and began explaining his situation at a frantic pace.
調子の悪いオートマタがあったので、ルシオールが調整を行った。先ほどそれが無事終わったんだ。
Hi, Miko. Hi there. How you doing? Thanks for the stretch. Huh.
ああ、もう終わったんだね。なのに急な要件？
足の角度が内股すぎるように思う。
え？
は？
いや、他のものに比べて2度程度だとは思うが。
Oh my god.
私は気になったんだ。
Not the OCD kicking in.
ルシオールは何だって？
Not the OCD kicking in.
気のせい
No.
だろうと。
だろうね。
ともあれ、一度見てほしい。ヒューゴが問題ないと判断するなら。
わかった。確認するよ。ごめんね、エマ。少し席を外すよ。持ち帰るのは一冊だよ。
Chuckled to myself as Monsieur Hugo left the tent. Then I helped myself to the one remaining macaron, finished my tea, and took a deep breath. I removed the picture book from the shelf and flipped through it. It really was a story about a kind and wonderful witch. Yeah, man's mysterious. This being with him makes me feel like I can admit all the things I've been keeping secret for so long. I guess I won't have to read any more sad stories about evil witches. I know he told me to do my reading in moderation, but if I had my way, I might have read through every single book on this shelf in one sitting. Damn. Then as I was paging through a volume, something fell from the shelf. Oh. I stooped over to pick it up, only to find that it wasn't a book at all. It was a bundle of papers. Hey, these aren't just papers. They're sketches and blueprints? I wasn't sure if the director would mind me reading something other than his books. Despite myself, though, I found my eyes irresistibly drawn to the sketches. What's the sketches? Wait, isn't this... Recognized it at a glance. Among the papers was a sketch of the Revis Manet. Huh? The Manage. It wasn't a mere image of the Manage I was used to seeing, though. I'd only ever seen Manoj operating during the light of day. When the darkness fell, the details of their ornamentation quickly became impossible to pick out. Even if you were to try to light one up, there was only so much a few lamps or a torch could do to illuminate it. What could possibly be more beautiful than a monage dancing through the dark of night with countless shining lights illuminating its every detail? Okay, so merry-go-rounds back then don't light up, I guess?
何か役立ちそうな本はあったかい？
Oh. I jumped with surprise and spun around, still holding the sketches and blueprints. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you'd mind if I looked at these, but I found them on the bookshelf and couldn't help myself.
Eh?
The director looked mystified until I handed him the bundle of papers.
これはずいぶん懐かしいものを見つけたね。
Okay. That's the Reve's Manage, isn't it?
そう。かつて俺が書いたものだよ。
Huh. You drew them?
君がここに初めて来た時、俺は自己紹介をしたよね。
Yeah.
今はレイブ移動遊園地の園長で、7年前はスタッフの一人だったと。
Okay, so it does line up with him being the engineer back then.
7年前、俺は遊具技師として遊園地で働いていたんだ。このスケッチと設計図は当時考えたものだよ。
Right. Hi there over on the YouTube chat. I'm not sure what the chat is. I can't read Japanese, so let me quickly put it into a translator, I guess. First time seeing this. Oh, it's your first time seeing this game, I guess. But hi, I'm playing an otome game. Yeah, translation time. If I can, I usually translate. Yeah, but I can't read Japanese.
「まあ今はただの園長だと思ってくれていいけどね。でもそうだな。これを捨てられなかったのは俺の中でも特別大切な思い出だったからかな。結局実現はしなかったし、できなかった。これからもそれは不可能だろうし、する予定もないのだけれど。できないよ。この計画はね、たくさんの電球を一度に灯すことで完成する仕組みになっている。試したことはあるんだ。いくつかの電球をつけてうまく光らせることはできないかとね。
Why? What
す
happened?
ぐ電球がダメになってしまうんだ。
Oh.
長時間灯せないのでは装飾として成立しない。改良された電球の話も聞いたことがあるけれど、店に出回っていないし、金額も相当なものだろうね。何より全て光らせるには電力が必要だ。この遊園地では到底無理かな。
Okay. I mean, during this time period,
まあ
yeah,
それこそ
most likely.
魔法の力があれば別なんだろうけれどね。
The director muttered as he put the pants away. His words caught my attention and my head shut up. Magic, of course. I could light them up if I awakened my magic, couldn't I? The director's expression stiffened with surprise. Paused for a moment to think.
うん。できるかもしれない。
Okay. Then let's try it. I want to see if we can make it happen. More than anything, I want to see the manage lit up like it was in your drawing.
それは本当にそう思う？
Why is that even a question? Am I being unreasonable right now? Even if I am. Oh. Okay, let's save that. Sorry, don't understand your language, but I can tell your voice is cute. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wait, where's my mouse? There we go. If it's possible, I want to try. If it's possible, I'd like to give it a try. Why not at least make an effort? I have to awaken my magic to free everyone from the replay anyway, after all. A second goal will help encourage me. First, we'll make this sketch a reality, then we'll set everyone free on top of it. I was so eager I found myself stepping closer to the director. He, however, seemed almost dazed and simply stared at me. Or do you think I'm overreaching?
いや、これは俺もずっと夢見ていたことなんだ。君がそう言うのならきっと。うん、やってみよう。大変だろうけれどいい目標になるかもしれない。俺は設計図を見直して必要な部品を集める。君は引き続き魔法の覚醒を、そうして完成を目指していこう。
Hugo flashed me one of his usual cheerful smiles, which made me feel a little relieved. We were on the same page and now shared the goal. Our tea party had come to an end in a rather unexpected manner. Alright, I'll do my best to make this plan a success.
計画というと何かよからぬことを企んでいるようだね。
I suppose it does, doesn't it? Considering how much money this could cost, I imagine that's exactly how Sergei would see it.
違いないね。じゃあ違う合言葉を教えよう。この計画には名前がついていたんだ。光きらめくマネージの姿を無双して、かつてこんな名前で呼び、スターライツ。そう呼んでいたんだよ。
That's a pretty code name. The director said the name softly, quietly, practically in a whisper. That's a pretty code name.
このスケッチ通りにマネージが輝くところが見たいか。これを実現する日が来るなんてね。
Get a little POV of him. Oh. Chapter 5. Let's go. That very same day, after the park had closed for the evening, Monsieur Hugo called everyone together to deliver an important announcement.
来週末の休日、夕方5時から特別なイベントを行おうと思う。
特別な。
うん。その日だけは5時になっても園を閉めずに営業を行うよ。
The rest of the rebate staff exchanged glances.
しかし、日が暮れれば営業は不可能だろ
暗い中じゃパフォーマンスもろくに見えないんじゃねえの？
大量のランプを用意するとか？
そんなの誰かさんが文句言うでしょ。予算がって。
予算が足りないな。
ほーら。
そこまでして夜に営業する必要があるとは思え。
みんなの指摘はもっともだけれど、だから特別と言ったんだよ。これを見てくれるかい？
Oh.
こんな風にマネージュを電球で飾ってそれを光らせようと思っているんだ。ただし光らせるのは魔法の力でだ。エマにお願いしようと思っている。
The director smiled at me and I nodded in reply. I don't know if I'm up to the task quite yet, but I promise I'll be ready in time for the event.
魔法で光らせる。ヒューゴがそう言うなら可能なのだろうか。
この電球が全部光るの？すごい。きっと綺麗だろうな。
I mean, the project name is so pretty. Not gonna lie.
そんなに派手に魔法を使うなんて、お客さんにはなんて説明するつもりですか？
光るのはあくまで電球なんだ。電気で光っていると思ってくれるよ。
Deep Dust 200, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
仮に光らせることができたとしてもだ。
Yeah, new follower.
これだ
Hey.
けの装飾を用意すんのは大変だろう。通常の営業もあるんだし。
I can try to help on that front. This was my suggestion in the first place, after all.
と、俺もだね。みんなには負担をかけないようにするよ。
Okay.
ただ、イベントの当日だけは人手が欲しい。電飾の取り付けを手伝ってもらいたいんだ。
それはまあ当日くらいなら。
Just had to get a new account. Been here for a while. Oh.
素敵なイベントじゃない。じゃあ私もなるべく園長の仕事をサポートするわね。
I was Deep Dust 101 before. Oh, I see.
僕にできることがあったら言ってね。
ありがとう。セルジュ、必要な備品は？
予算の大枠を出してくれ。赤字になっては意味がないからな。
そうだね。最善を尽くすよ。
魔法の覚醒は大変だと思うけど、エマも頑張ってね。
楽しみにしてるね。
An air of optimism prevailed as the meeting came to a close. I greatly appreciate the director's willingness to help bring everyone on board. Okay.
先に言われたね。みんなありがとう。当日
Okay,
まで
me
よろし
lurker,
く頼
thank
むよ。
you. Thank you for the lurk.
Ah, おかえりなさい。今から夕食にするところだったのよ。
おかえり。外は暗かっただろう。大丈夫だったか？
Ooh, soup. Damn, I'm hungry now. I know I'm eating snacks right now, but I'm hungry as well, bro. It's just 4 p.m. already thinking about dinner. I'll continue to progress in awakening my magic, making starlights a reality, and freeing everyone from the replay. I have plenty of goals to motivate me now. Oh boy. I wonder how this story goes then.
何かいいことでもあったのか？電球で？そんなの見たことないな。面白そうだ。
本当ね。それは私たちでも見られるのかしら。
I mean, why not, right?
じゃあ、ぜひ私も見に行きたいわ。ね、あるのも行くでしょ？
もちろん。珍しい催しだし、ぜひ取材して記事にしたいな。
Who's she? She's Arnold's mom. Biological mom. She's also like a foster parent to Emma. So yeah, Emma is adopted by Arnold's family.
なら俺も上に聞いてみるよ。きっと二つ返事だと思うけどな。
いいわね。楽しみが増えたわ。夜の遊園地なんて初めてよ。
After working out a budget with Sergey, the director set about gathering up the materials he needed at once. I was in charge of buying the necessary components for Starlight's decorations at the director's instructions. Gray helped me bring back the heavier parts, and all around, it felt like things were proceeding at a steady pace. Burby, okay. The most important part for the sake of Starlight's completion was, of course, the awakening of my magic. I want to cover the menage in brilliant lights. Imagine it. Imagine the director's blueprint. Imagine the menage awash with light. This isn't like it was before. I have a clear direction now. Took a few slow deep breaths and turned to face the menage. It felt like I was coming to understand the path I had to take to move forward. Up, minigame time! No. I would like to do the minigame.
焦らないで、君のペースでやろう。そのまま続けて。魔法の光を捉えるんだ。素晴らしいね。君の頑張りには目を見張るばかりだ。
Oh, we're getting there. I let my hands fall to my sides as I pause to take a break. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of this. I hadn't made a dramatic leap forward or anything, but I'm sure I'll be ready by next week. Suddenly a voice rang out behind me.
今ので終わりですか?
Oh, Lucille. I spun around, surprised, and found Lucille standing behind me. That was a shock in and of itself. Lucille couldn't even be bothered to show up to meals most of the time. Having him strike up a conversation was new. Are you watching me?
少しだけですが。
Well, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
まだまだですね。
Huh? For a moment, I wasn't sure what he was talking about. A second later, though, I considered what I'd just been doing, and an explanation came to mind. Are you talking about awakening my magic? Lucio didn't say a word, but after an awkward pause, he at least gave me a sigh and a nod.
レイブからみんなを解放させるつもりなら、その程度ではまだまだ足りません。スターライツはある程度実現できたとしても、それでは到底。
I'm sure you're right. I'll have to try even harder. Lucille's eyes widened, which was quite the rarity. He seemed shocked. Incredulous even.
諦めろと言ってるんですが。
Oh, were you?
まあ、どうでもいいですけど。
Lucille seemed to lead by example and give up himself at that point. He turned around and walked away without another word. How could I give up? This was no time to back down from the path I'd chosen. I'd already dragged everyone into Starlights, and the director was hard at work with his preparations as well. In a certain sense, it felt like circumstances had come together to make the road I had to follow clear as it could be. I still have a long way to go. I can still put in more effort. A certain Mr. Spirituoso, hi! Welcome to the stream. I never imagined that we need quite this many parts. I muttered to myself as I looked over the mechanical components piled up throughout the tent. I knew I'd been bringing plenty of parts back with me when I went out shopping, but seeing them all together drove their sheer volume. You're halfway through the game? Yep.
そうだね。
Halfway.
特に電球は品質に差があるから。
Okay, seeing him without the seeing him without the hat and the cape. Okay.
状態が悪いものは改良を施して、それと電線も加工して安全性を確認しないと事故の元になるからね。
Sounds like you have a lot to keep in mind. Even as we spoke, the director sorted through the mountain of components, picking out certain pieces to assemble together. I was the one who bought all of them, but I didn't think I could put them together like that, even if I had all the blueprints at hand. Monsieur Hugo?
Hmm?
Is there anything I can do to help with your assembly work? I'd love to lend a hand.
あ、でも君は魔法の覚醒をしなければいけないし、これは俺の仕事だと思っているよ。
I understand that, but watching you just made me feel an urge to learn. It struck me that I have no idea where any of the parts will be used. I can't make sense of your plans at all.
それはもちろんそうだよ。君は技師ではないんだからね。
But I'm the one who'll be lighting up the menage in the end, and according to one of the books you loaned me, it's important to understand how the spell you want to cast will play out. If you want to move something with magic, for instance, then it's best to first figure out how much the object weighs, and how you intend to make it move. Some people have the talent to understand those things at a glance and make their magic work effortlessly, I'm sure, but I don't think I'm capable of that. That's why I want to learn how Starlight's decorations will be made, and to see as much of the process as I can in person. I think working my magic will be easier that way. I did my best to summarize what I learned from the director's book, and when I finished, he gave me an understanding nod.
そうだね。納得できる理由だ。
So then,
君にも手伝ってもらおう。でも、ほどほどに頼むよ。頑張りすぎて倒れたりしないように。
of course, I'll be careful. The director chuckled and gestured toward the box full of parts.
そこにある電球を一つ持っておいで。
Okay. I did as I was told and sat down beside him at the table. In turn, the director handed me one of the parts that had been lying in front of him. It was made of metal and had a number of wires connected to it. I hadn't the foggiest idea how it and the light bulb could have been related.
電球をこの部分にセットするんだ。そこの金属部分が電線につながるようになっている。
I tried pushing the light bulb into the socket and found it fit like a glove. For all intents and purposes, I now had a light bulb with two wires hanging from it. Ah, okay, he's making a circuit, basically. Presumably, their wires would connect the bulbs to each other, allowing them to be strung up on the menage. At long last, I could see how the parts and the blueprints came together. That being said, I still couldn't quite keep up with the director's jargon. What is the electrical line?
電気を通す線のことだね。
Yep. Oh, I see. I'm sorry I've never heard that term before.
当然だよ。パリの方ならともかく、田舎じゃ電気なんて言葉も知らない人が多いだろうし。俺がこういうことに詳しいのは、それが俺の仕事の一つだから。
I gave the director a nod and he proceeded to continue his explanation.
電球はすべて電線でつなげる。電気の場合はこうしてすべてをつなげることで一度に光らせるんだけれど、魔法でも同じだ。
Okay, so it works like the circuit of Christmas lights. Got it.
こればかりは一度やってみた方が早いね。この電線の先を持って。
The director lifted a set of parts in his gloved hands, offering me the wire that connected two light bulbs to each other.
魔法の覚醒と基本は変わらないはずだよ。この電線に魔法の力を注ぎ込んで。この説明で伝わるかな？
Yes, I understand. An image was beginning to form in my mind. I just had to pass my power through the electrical line from one end to the other. I didn't fully understand why, but somehow I knew that as long as I could do that, everything would work out just fine. Okay. I closed my eyes and focused my thoughts. Now that I knew how the parts were connected, I could visualize what I needed to make happen. It would work. I just had to concentrate. Before long, I felt a gentle heat begin to gather in my hands. I slowly opened my eyes.
いいね。
No. A pair of light bulbs had begun to glow, shimmering like stars in the night sky. Oh. Instant my concentration lapsed, however, their feeble lights blinked right out again. Was that right? Did I do it?
もちろん。大した説明もしていないのに、さすがだね。
That's cool. I'm not sure why, but I could picture the process perfectly, somehow. I suppose your explanation was just that easy to
そう
follow.
かな。とりあえず、2つ光らせることができたんだから。部品の組み立ても、基本は単純で、さっき君が見た通りだよ。
I felt a certain sense of relief as I looked over the parts anew. The director was right. Now that I understood how they fit together, I had the feeling I could actually help him.
とりあえずは、俺の言った部品を取って渡してもらえるかな。そうすることで、部品の名前も覚えるだろうし。
Alright. These were called electrical cables, right?
そう。その通り。
I spent some time learning the names of parts as I handed them over to the director. He in turn would swiftly put them together, then inspect and fine-tune the finished product. As he told me before, some of the parts were less well made than others. He had to occasionally shave down or exchange their components. Incredible. It's like he doesn't even have to think about it. The director was so skilled, he knew how to solve every problem the instant it confronted him. Between the two of us, the work seemed to fly by. Okay. It was almost hard to believe this was the same Monsieur Hugo who would always greet the park's visitors with a welcome smile. I've never seen him make a face like that before. It was the very definition of focus, and I couldn't tear my eyes away from him.
どうかしたのかい？
Excuse me, what part did you want? His question snapped me out of my daze, and I realized I hadn't been listening to him. The director chuckled and shook his head.
いや、部品は足りているんだけどね。そうじっと見られると集中できないよ。
I'm sorry. Yes, of course it would be. Well, I was just thinking that Sergei had told me the truth. Thinking that Sergei had told me the truth. You really are an incredible engineer. Maybe that's not my place to say, but I can tell just by watching you.
そう？大したことはしていないけれど、君にそう言われると嬉しいよ。
Felt like he'd hesitated for a moment. His behavior piqued my curiosity, but Monsieur Hugo smiled and beckoned me closer before I could ponder the matter any further. Yes, what is it?
他に見るものがないから俺を見てしまうんだろうし。椅子を持ってこっちにおいで。
Okay. I was confused, but I did as he asked. Hugo took the chair from me and planted it before him. Then he had me sit down directly in front of him.
君もやってみようか。失礼。
Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay then.
ただ見ているのは退屈だったよね。最初からこうして一緒にやればよかったんだ。
You mean we'll assemble them together?
うん。この作業は簡単だし、できる範囲でやってもらえた方がお互いのためになるだろう?
Yes, I suppose so. I'd been concerned that just passing. Oh, hey Dean. Hey Dean, thanks for the raid. How was Pokemon? I know you were playing Pokemon at least. Yeah, thanks for the raid. How's the otome game going? Halfway? More than halfway through? Because I did just skip a lot of dialogue that I've read, so currently in the route itself now. Oh yeah, thanks for the raid. How's Pokemon? You catch anything new today? Or did you like rank up? Got the shiny I wanted and preparing myself for the final post-game fights. Oh. Would it be spoilers if I ask what Pokemon it is? Is it spoilers if I ask what Pokemon that you got? Or is it okay for me to know? Oh, wait, what does a shiny Patrat look like? What does a shiny Patrat look like even? What color is it?
「見ていたからなんとなくはわかるだろうけれど、こう部品を持って。
He has blue eyes instead of red. Oh. Wait, is it still violet? But only blue eyes?
「こうやって組み立てていくんだ。この時に気をつけてほしいのが差し込む角度で。無理に入れると部品が変形することもあるから気をつけて。それと
It's lighter brown with blue eyes. Oh, okay. Cool. So it looks like a normal ass rat. Or some kind of hamster, I don't know. Hey Shumi. Enjoy the stream blinded by pink or lavender. Yep, that's an otome, yep. It's a hamster with blue eyes. Oh my god, it's a hamster with blue eyes. That is so cute though. That is cute though. Maybe when I get to post game, I'll try to get one as well. Maybe, we'll see. Yeah, thanks for the raid and hi there, Shumi. Isn't he just a little bit too close? A little bit is an understatement, girl. You're literally sitting in front of him. I appreciated the guidance, of course, but our close proximity was more than a little distracting. Monsieur Hugo doesn't seem to mind at all, but I have to say something, don't I? Time to save. Time to save. Yes. Oh. Oh, MT wants to say something, so I'm gonna just say I can't focus like this. Monsieur Hugo. Turn around, ready to tell him that I couldn't focus properly with him so close to me. I found Monsieur Hugo's face directly in front of me and reflexively jerked my head away again. He's too close. Far too close. Ah yes, true V and veteran right there. Binary choice. Binary choice equals new save slot, yes. No, not a question. Man doesn't mind. I'd miss my chance to do anything about our current positioning. In the end, he continued to teach me from the exact same position, not budging even an inch. Who is his BA again? Who is his BA again? Yeah, let me check. Oh, thanks for the hydrate and the posture check. Wataru Hatano. So I'm back. Hey, welcome back. You have a good stream, Shin. Go ahead to sleep. Okay. You have a good night, Dean. Thanks for the raid.
でも怪我にだけは気をつけて。ゆっくりで構わないからね。
Never got used to the sensation of the director whispering into my ear. But thankfully I had my work to distract me. Somehow I managed to make it through. Oh my god, the VA is the same VA is also in the same is in another game that I wanted to play. Okay, got it. It was hardly a revelation, but I felt that fact more keenly than ever now. He was always right there for me, putting himself in my shoes and guiding me along, whether it was awakening my magic or learning to assemble parts for the menage. Whenever I began to falter, he'd take me by the hand and show me the way. I couldn't have been more grateful for his guidance. Part of me was worried that saying we should go through with Starlights was a bad idea. But I'm glad I said it now. I don't think my magic would have been progressing this well if I hadn't. With only 2 days left before Starlights was scheduled to occur, I felt more keenly than ever that I had made the right choice. Oh, we only have 2 days until the thingy.
装
Okay.
飾の準備も君の魔法もなんとか間に合いそうでよかった。
I'm trying to see which voice I'm reminded of by SVA. Because I'm looking at his roles in other games and anime. Man has range. Like, he can go gruff or soft. What the fuck? We just finished carrying decorations over to the Menage when Monsieur Hugo flashed me a smile and struck up a conversation. Yes, it looks like it. Now we just have to wait for the event to begin.
明日営業が終わったら一度取り付けて点灯してみようか。昨日確認はしたけれど、実際にマネージュに取り付けるとまた違うかもしれないしね。
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Maybe we should try setting it all up. As I looked over the pile of decorations and the Menage, my gaze drifted upward to the night sky. The stars glimmered beautifully. The stars glimmered beautiful and ever so high up above us. Never knew, however, that the glow of our starlights would shine with a far greater beauty than any of the stars I could see now. As I visualized the scene, the light in my mind's eye began to spread. Soon all the reverie was lit up in my imagination. I'm sure it would be even prettier if we could light the whole reverie up. Before I knew it, my idle fantasy had slipped past my lips. I'm sorry. Starlights will make the Menage more than beautiful enough already. I didn't mean to imply otherwise. I just couldn't help but think, well, how beautiful would it be if we could do the same to the whole park?
なるほど。
The director raised a hand to his mouth and seemed to sink into thought. A moment later, he began looking over the starlight's decorations. I retract my statement of finishing 2 or 3 routes. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We're likely almost at the end of chapter 5, so we'll see. Please don't get me wrong. It was just an idea, a flight of fancy. Really, I didn't even mean to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Monsieur Hugo stopped sorting through the decorations and turned to face me once more.
とてもいいアイデアだと思うよ。マネージュは霊部の一部だ。マネージュが輝くのなら霊部もそうであってこその夢の世界だからね。
Monsieur Hugo's expression was as earnest as could be. I could tell that he was deep in thought about how he could turn my proposal into a reality, even as he spoke to me. Does that mean...
うまく調整すれば部品は足りる。電球はできる限り買い足した方がいいけれど、急ぎ購入すればなんとか間に合うと思う。予備の分も足してしまって最下部の装飾は減らす。どのみち安全性が気になっていたし、 きっとその方が。
Huh. He spent a moment muttering to himself, then gave me a confident nod.
よし、問題ない。
Huh. Okay. I rushed over to the director's side, beaming with joy, and he smiled right back at me.
この広場全体を照らしてこそスターライツだ。俺たちの夢を叶えよう。まあただ予算は少しばかりはみ出すだろうし、設計図を作り直してセルジュをもう一度説得しないといけないね。図面の準備もあるし、今日はもう遅いし、また明日かな。
Are you sure? If there's anything else I can help with, I'd be more than willing.
それよりもエマ、スターライツの範囲がレイブ全体に広がれば、君の魔法もより強力にする必要があるよね。そちらの方が大変じゃないのかな。
I'll be fine, don't worry. I've improved a lot over the past few days. I can illuminate the whole Starlight display without any issues now. I was actually already thinking that there had to be something more than I could do. That's what gave me the idea of lighting up their FA to begin with, I believe.
心強い答えだね。
Oh.
俺も自信が湧いてきたよ。
Okay, we have a 3-minute ad break. We take a break real quick. Okay, well, while the ad break is going, I'll be right back. I'll go stretch. Heavy ads, that's fine. I'll go stretch my legs real quick. I'll just walk around the room. Yep, ad break done. As we looked out over the river, still cloaked in the dark of night, Monsieur Hugo laid a hand on my shoulder.
じゃあセルジュの方は俺に任せて、必ずいい結果にしてみせるから。
The look on his face filled me with an unshakable confidence. I just knew he'd bring Sergei around. The next day, however, I found myself looking over the director's plans. The atmosphere heavy and foreboding.
まさか前日になってそんな大それた変更案を出してくるとは。
Monsieur Hugo, Sergei, and I had gathered together in the tent. The instant Monsieur Hugo had brought up his proposal, Sergei's expression grew grim. The ever-present sharpness of his gaze becoming even more intense than usual. Even Monsieur Hugo seemed to be growing anxious in spite of his confidence the night before. Maybe we really are asking for the impossible. And to think I already went and told Arnold and Madame Alice that we were changing our plans.
でもそれがレイブらしい装飾だと思うんだ。なぜ最初からその案を考えなかったのか後悔したくらいだよ。
それは魔法で光を灯せる範囲に限界があったからじゃないか。こんなにたくさんの電球を光らせるなんて。
確かにそうだ。頭がいいね、セルジュ。
茶化さないでくれ。不可能じゃないのか。
Far from it. I proposed this idea because I'm positive I can handle it. I would have been lying if I said I didn't have any reservations, but I was confident I had what it took.
まあ、実際点灯させているところもこの目で見たわけだし。それについては、しかしだ。これほど大量の装飾を施して動作を確認するならば、明日すぐに開催とはいかないのでは。
うん。だからスターライツの開催日自体を来週に延期しようと思う。
Oh, we're delaying it a week later.
またそういう。
すまない。でもお客さんを呼ぶなら、やはりベストな形で夢の世界へ案内したい。きっとみんな喜ぶと思うんだ。俺たちにとっても忘れられない大切な思い出になると思うよ。
その説得の仕方は卑怯だろ。
Sergei grumbled to himself as he looked over the plans once more. True to his word, Monsieur Hugo had spent the night before amending them to reflect our new concept.
確かに来週になれば装飾は完成するだろう。しかし設置にかかる時間はこの規模では半日あっても足りないんじゃないか。
みんなに手伝ってもらったとして丸一日かな。
Sergei heaved a heavy sigh. Frankly, I could understand why he was so dissatisfied.
もともとギリギリの予算で組まれていたんだ。そこにまた経費を上乗せしてさらに一日営業を休むと。
Yeah, I understand why he would be, yeah.
スターライツの開催で回収できる金額とは思えない。
それはまあ。
Sergei was right, I knew it. I was all too aware that director and I had let a moment of zealous enthusiasm drive us past the point of reason. But still,
それでもやりたいんだ。
before I had the chance to speak up, Monsieur Hugo said what I wanted to for me.
経費はなるべく削ろう。そしてお客さんを倍呼べばいいんだろう。その方法を考えよう。何かあるはずだ。
I'll think it through too. Plus, if we push back the event for a week, that would mean we'll have time to put out advertisements for it.
ほら、できる気がしてこないかい、セルジュ。
できる気どころか、頭痛ばかりが増してくるんだが。
Just then, our conversation was interrupted as an unexpected visitor stepped into the tent.
こんにちは。
I mean,
お邪魔してもいいですか？
Arnold is a journalist, so you could ask him to promote the event. You know? PR stuff. Arnold politely tipped his hat as he walked inside and grinned as he acknowledged me.
調子はどうだ？上の許可がもらえたからスターライツの取材に来てみたんだ。
Wait, the Starlight story?
前回書いたレイブの記事が評判良かったんだ。それに今朝お前がスターライツの演出をもっと派手にするって言ってただろ。だからいっそ事前に記事にしたらいいんじゃないかと思ってさ。
Arnold's first article about the review had certainly garnered us a fair share of attention. I recalled how it had drawn more visitors than ever to the park.
明日の朝の新聞で今夜行われる催しってことで宣伝するんだ。そうすればお客もたくさん来るだろ。
Arnold must have remembered our conversation over breakfast and petitioned his superiors to run the article for me. For a moment I thought I recognized him, but that face is nearly 30% of otomes. Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Hate to say it, but well, we were just talking about how we might have to delay Starlights for a week so we can expand the
なら
scale.
なおさらいいんじゃないか。来週開催と告知しておけばみんなも予定を空けて遊びに来るよ。
He had a point, but what would Sergei think? I glanced over to find he was still scowling, but the fact that he hadn't jumped into the exchange told me he was giving the idea serious thought. The director, meanwhile, stepped up to Arnold with a smile.
やあ、アルノ君。
あるので構いませんよ。
そう？前回は素敵な記事をありがとう。おかげであの後お客さんが増えたんだ。
いえ。
Nice, Arnold. Kinda tense. Yeah, he's distant with the director, but he gave him a nod at least. What?
お役に立てたならよかった。さっきも言った通り、レイブの記事は評判が良かったし、エマがとても楽しみにしていたから、きっといいものになるのかなと。
ありがとう。じゃあまた君に記事にしてもらえれば、どっとお客さんが詰めかけるね。
そうなるように書きます。
だそうだよ、セルジュ。
Sergei had been glaring at the plans throughout our exchange with Arnold. But when he finally looked up at me, he had an entirely different expression on his face.
素晴らしいタイミングだな。これも計算のうちなのか。
だとしたら彼女は相当有能だね。
No, of course not. Sergei laid a hand on the plans on the table, then told us the conclusion he'd reached.
わかった。客の入りが見込めるのなら、反対する理由はない。休園するのは半日だ。前日は通常通りに営業を行い、次の日は夕方からの営業とする。全スタッフを総動員するなりなんなりして、準備時間は最小限に抑えてくれ。それが前提条件だ。
わかったよ。ありがとう、セルジュ。
We'd done it. I looked over at Monsieur Hugo and the two of us exchanged smiles.
よかったね。寝る間を惜しんで図面を引いた甲斐があった。
I'm so glad our effort didn't go to waste. Hugo and I were overjoyed, but the look Arnold was giving me told me he felt rather out of place.
エマ、その。
You're at a loss, but thanks to you, I think everything's going to work out. I'll make sure the event lives up to your article, trust me.
そうか。それならよかった。
And so, Starlights was temporarily postponed. In exchange, its scale would be broadened to encompass the review in its entirety.
あら、また買い出しに行くの？
I am, yes. We need too many parts to carry in just one trip. So I'll have to make several.
大変そうね。クリアにも手伝ってもらったら？
It seems like he's busy today, and this was my idea to begin with. I feel like I should see it through personally. I'll be back soon.
張り切るわね。いってらっしゃい。
Ira gave me a wave as I hurried off into town. I want to see it through, and I want to place as little of a burden on everyone else as possible. Everyone had been working at a frantic pace ever since the extension had been decided upon the day before. Spreading starlights across the whole park would require an incredible number of parts, and we also had to ensure that space was cleared to set the lights up. The director and I could decorate the menage on our own easily enough, but at its current scale, this was by no means a two-person project. Preparing for the event on top of their usual work meant everyone had their hands incredibly full. I have to do as much as I possibly can on my own. I took a moment to renew my resolve, then headed out on my shopping trip. Okay. Treyer called out to me as he fine-tuned the stand's decoration from his spot on top of a ladder.
こんなもんか？もっと右？
That's fine. Thank you, Kree. Kree swiftly climbed down the ladder and hopped off next to me.
当日はここにも電球をつけるんだろう。何も屋台まで光らせなくても。
Don't you think the park will look prettier with lights strewn about everywhere?
そりゃそうだけど。
Me, yes, but I'm sorry for pulling you away from your work to help with it. I can handle the rest on my own.
別にこれくらい大したことねえよ。次はどこだよ？
But I just said that I could. I was bewildered as Kree picked up the ladder, ready to move on to the next stall. Before I could finish telling him I had it under control, though, he cut me off.
俺がやった方が早いだろう。さっさと指示しねえと時間が無駄になるだろうが。
Okay, thank you.
だから俺がやった方が早いだけだ。
Okay, okay, Sundar. He was obviously making excuses, and I had to stop myself from chuckling. Thanks to Korea's help, as well as all the rest of their FA's workers, our preparations were proceeding smoothly. As I stopped by to see Hugo after a shopping trip, I couldn't help but marvel at the state of the park. I can hardly believe how many visitors we have today. Never seen the Reveille this full. Arnold's new articles seem to have worked wonders. We were getting more and more visitors by the day. Starlights was still a few days away too. I never imagined the publicity would help so much on our ordinary days as well.
ああ、すごい。まさかここまで賑わうとは思っていなかったよ。
You really do, Tommy. I'll let him know how much we appreciate it when I arrive home tonight.
ありがとう。俺からも礼を言わないと。スターライツの日も見に来てくれるんだよね。
Yes, he will. He told me he was looking forward to it, even. Oh, and I almost forgot. Here are the parts I went out to buy. I set my purchases down on the table, where Monsieur Hugo and I began inspecting them. We needed as many lights as possible, so if any of the ones I purchased were defective, we had to find them and exchange them as soon as we could. Looks like the shopkeeper told me the truth about having already expected them, though they all seem to be totally functional.
うん、いいね。これで当面の部品は足りたと思う。
Oh, good. What should we do next then?
それじゃあ部品の組み立てを手伝ってもらえるかい？前にやったことと基本は同じだから。
Of course. I was all set to get to work, but Monsieur Hugo smiled as he raised a hand to stop me.
でもその前に休憩をとって。重い荷物を持ち帰って疲れただろ？
But I'm not.
君の一番の仕事は魔法の覚醒だよ。魔法に自信が持てるようになったと言っても、それは前回の規模についての話だ。
That's true, yeah.
円全体のスターライツを光らせるとなれば、勝手もやは
Would
り違
be
ってく
best to
ると思
rest.
うからね。
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
だから他のことはなるべく俺がやるから、無理せずに体力は温存しておいて。魔法のことを一番に考えてほしい。
He had me convinced, no matter how perfect our preparations were, they would all be rendered meaningless if my magic failed in the pivotal moment. You understand? I'll take a break, then do what I can without losing track of my priorities.
そうしてくれると助かるよ。
Made it sound like I was doing him a favor, but in truth, I knew he was acting out of consideration for me. Everyone works together to support us. I have to make this a success no matter what. My spirits were higher than ever, and I knew that would help keep my magic moving in the right direction. Time flew by as I engrossed myself in my work, and the day of the event arrived before I'd even had a chance to feel anxious about it. The reveille was put on a half-day schedule, and all of us spent the morning setting up for the Starlights display. The director and I walked around the park, each carrying a set of Starlights plans, directing everyone else in their work. Yes, right there, I think.
はず？
I'm sorry, let me double check just to be safe. We're right here, so...
焦らなくて大丈夫だよ。まだ時間はあるから。
Do we really? With a little encouragement from Leon, we managed to finish the north side of the park's preparations. All that's left is preparing the menage. Once that's finished, Starlights will be completely ready to go. It was almost time, and I could feel my anticipation begin to swell within me. Leon seemed pleased as well. He gave me a contented pat on my shoulder.
これが全部光るんだな。そう思うだけでワクワクしてくるね。
Me too. I had to agree. The lights weren't even on yet, but just seeing them strung up all around the park was incredible. When the sun finally set, every one of them would shine like a star.
ぼーっと眺めている場合か。まだ準備は終わっていない。
Oh, Sergey.
ヒューゴからマネージの飾り付けを手伝えと言われた。
え、セルジョさんが手伝うの？
悪いか？
No, not at all. Thank you. We have to go fetch the decorations first. Please follow me.
ああ。
頑張ってね。
It took all of the review staff working together, but in the end, we managed to finish setting up the event ahead of schedule. I never would have been able to manage this without everyone's help. I felt a deep sense of gratitude as I waited for the gates to open and for Starlights to begin. It was 4:45 at the moment, 15 minutes left until the event would start. Now I'm starting to get nervous. Not now, girl. Tension was getting to me and my hands were starting to tremble.
楽しみね、エマ。
Clara, what if I can't do it? What then?
あら、ここに来てその弱気？昨日まではあんなに楽しそうにしてたのに。
I am, but now that it's finally time, I just feel so nervous.
それは仕方ないわね。 頑張ったからこそよ。
As Clara stepped up beside me, doing her best to quell my nerves, Perrier, who'd been out shopping, dashed into the park and towards us.
おい客
Perrier had spent a moment panting and gasping for breath before he could deliver his news, which happily enough turned out to be very good.
客がすげえんだよ。門の前にいっぱい並んでる。こんなにたくさんの客見たことねえよ。
Ooh. Really?
やっぱりそうなると思ってたわ。
これは俺も気合入るな。目いっぱい楽しませてやるぜ。
ちょっとその前に買ってきた油予備に置いておかなきゃいけないんだから。
Well, they're gonna be busy. It was too late. Perrier had already dashed off toward the front gate again, and Clara set off in hot pursuit. No sooner had the two of them left than Monsieur Hugo arrived, as if to take their place. It seemed he had been speaking with the customers in line, interacting with them right up until the moment before the park opened.
クリエの言う通り、すごいお客さんだよ。あるのにお礼を言わないとね。
No kidding.
黒字確定のようで何よりだ。
そうだね。この調子なら今までで一番の売り上げになるかもしれない。
ありえなくはないな。
Even Sergei, who I'd never seen lose his composure, seemed just a little excited. That, however, made me feel more nervous than ever. Oh boy. We're just on chapter 5, what else is gonna happen? Now, I just have to make sure everything goes as planned. I can't fail, no matter what. As my nerves began to overtake me, I felt a gentle pressure on my shoulder. It was Monsieur Hugo's hand. Instantly, the wave of nervousness that had been overwhelming me began to recede.
エマ、ここからは夢の世界だよ。夢を叶えて星々を輝かせるんだ。何より君が楽しまないとね。
That's part of my job.
誰よりスターライツを楽しみにしていたのは俺と君だ。
I felt my lips curve into a smile. Yes, that's right. Nobody's as excited as we've been.
じゃあ楽しもう。魔法は悪いものじゃない。俺たちを楽しませてくれる特別なものだ。
At the director's instructions, the automatons leaped into action. The signals had been given. I'll enjoy this more than anyone.
特別な夜、スターライツの始まりだ。
Closed my eyes and began to visualize the reverie. To visualize the lights strung up all around it. Then I sent my magic racing through the pathway of metal that connected each and every one of those lights to each other. They glimmer like stars in the night sky. And our guest's smiles will shine even brighter. I prove that magic can bring people joy. Prove it to everyone and most of all to myself. Ooh. I opened my eyes to find the meteor showers worth of stars winking away before me. They spanned the entirety of the reverie, from front to back, shining and glimmering like innumerable precious gemstones. That's pretty.
おーすごい。
綺麗。
こんなの初めて見るな。
すごいわね。夢みたいだわ。
As visitors began to pass through the gates, their voices rang out in a chorus of wonder and astonishment.
星の瞬く夜へようこそ。スターライツが皆さんをお迎えいたします。
いらっしゃい。 今日は特別なパフォーマンスだ。見ていってくれよな。
ようこそ。素敵な夜を過ごしてね。
Guided by the voices of the RPA staff, the visitors began to scatter here and there in the park. No matter where they went, though, the lights never dimmed. The RPA was completely bathed in starlight's brilliance.
エマ、思った以上にすごいな。
Oh, they're actually here.
前もって取材してたのにさ、驚いたよ。
本当ね、素晴らしいわ。
I'm glad you like it. It took my breath away too, to be honest.
気持ちはわかるな。
And Arnold, it's all thanks to your article that we have this many visitors tonight. If it weren't for you, we might never have been able to turn starlights into a reality. Thank you so much.
いや、それはエマの役に立てたならそれでいいよ。俺なんていらない。
まあ、謙虚ね。
謙虚っていうか。
それじゃ行きましょう。あるのマネージに乗ってみたいの。あら、もう人だかりができてるわ。早く行かないと乗り損ねてしまうわよ。
わかったよ。じゃあ仕事頑張れよ。
I saw Arnold and Madame Alice off, then took a moment to let out a truly joyous sigh of relief. Just look, everyone's having so much fun. I am too. It all worked out. I did it. This would be the brightest night that Blackberg had ever seen. I just knew it. Ooh, it's lighted up. That's nice. Closing time came and went, and our visitors all took their leave. Even after they left, my magic lingered on. The starlight's display still shined away, its white light radiating up into the night sky. It's so quiet. The park had been overflowing with voices and laughter just moments ago. But now I was so silent that it felt like I was underwater. What few sounds came from far off in the distance. It's really over, isn't it? As I gazed at the menage, feeling a little melancholic to think starlights had come to a close, I heard footsteps approaching behind me.
乗らないのかい?
Huh? Monsieur Hugo extended his hand as he stepped toward me.
お手をどうぞ。
But I could. I work here, after all.
もう閉園したよ。スタッフの時間は終わり。
But the park being closed is exactly why I'd feel bad about riding it.
では、俺の行為ということで、君に乗ってもらいたいんだ、エマ。
Didn't know what to do before I could sort out my rather bewildered thoughts, though. Monsieur Hugo swept me off my feet and carried me off toward the menage. Oh, okay. Okay then.
君の特技は遠慮かな?
Suddenly, Monsieur Hugo's trademark smile was right in front of me.
遠慮なんていらないのに。特に俺の前ではね。
I've already asked you for so many things since I started working here. And I have a feeling a lot of them weren't at all reasonable on top of it. Awakening my magic, putting together starlights, I keep needing everyone's help with everything I try to do.
魔法の覚醒は俺が頼んだことだ。
But it's still my responsibility.
スターライツは俺も賛成したよ。
But I was the one who said I wanted to make it happen. No, I can't go on like this. When all's said and done, I'm just presuming upon you again right now.
ん？どういう意味かな？
I'm acting like a child, but this, but that. Really though, I think all I wanted was for you to tell me that everything is alright.
確かにね。俺から見れば、君はまだ子供だよ。
I mean, she is 17. I suspected as much.
俺が守るべき、大切にすべき人という意味ではね。
He's obligated to protect me?
ただ俺も、たまには君に甘えたくなるから、それはお互い様にしよう。
Monsieur Hugo carried me up onto the menage with ease, smiling all the way. There we stood at the center of the glimmering starry sky the Riviere had become.
マドモアゼル、今宵このひとときをお楽しみください。
He set me down upon one of the menage's wooden horses, then took a bow. As the menage began to turn, I narrowed my eyes, lit by the glow of starlights. The horses move with an almost lifelike vigor. They shine so brilliantly, it was like they were made from gemstones. Their glimmering forms were so spectacular. It was all too easy to imagine that I drifted off into the world of my dreams. I'm glad I wrote this after all. I'm sure this is a sight I'll never forget. I didn't even know how many times I'd gazed at the music box my father had left me and wish I could write a menage just like it. That fantastical world I'd slipped into, shining with all the colors of the rainbow, brought an irresistible smile to my face. I'm liking the glow of the carousel. Yeah, it's really pretty. Really pretty. Yeah. It was a childish desire, and I knew it. And if letting it be granted brought me this much happiness, then maybe all the stubborn restraint I'd forced upon myself for so long had been necessary, after all. Monsieur Hugo, I practically whispered as the menage continued to turn. Thank you for making my dream come true. For a moment, our eyes met as I rode past him. He just smiled at me, though just like he always did. Surely he hadn't heard me. But that's alright, for now at least. Couldn't explain why, but I felt certain of it. Oh, how it glimmered. Deep within a corner of my mind, something was shining away. At first, I thought the glow of starlights had left me dazzled, but eventually came to realize that wasn't the case after all.
どうだったかな？スターライツの夜の特別なマネージは。
The menage slowly came to a stop, and Monsieur Hugo offered me a hand as I descended from the wooden horse. Somehow, when I looked at his face, the glimmering in my mind grew even brighter. Yes, it was wonderful. I felt like I'd stepped right into a dream.
それは良かった。苦労も多かったけれど、その分たくさんのお客さんが喜んでくれたね。セルジュ曰く、過去最大の売り上げだそうだよ。
He certainly did seem preoccupied by our visitor count from the moment the gates opened.
ずいぶん経費がかかったからね。気持ちもわかるけれど、他のみんなのように楽しんでくれればよかったのに。
Speaking of, Greer's performance was incredible. He took advantage of the nighttime to work torches into his routine.
少し火を使いたいとは聞いていたけれど、あんなに派手にやるとは思わなかったよ。
Oh, really? You didn't know?
そうなんだ。大変な夜だったよ。 リオンは子供たちに囲まれて動けなくなっていたし、ルシオールは引きこもって出てこないし。
Oh, I actually caught a glimpse of him outside for just a moment. I think he was checking in to see how Starlights was working out.
そうか。お客さんはみんな目を輝かせていたね。子供も大人も。
I'm sure none of them had ever been to a park like this before. How could they not enjoy it?
わかるのかい？
Of course, after all, I felt the same way. For once, Monsieur Hugo let out a pure and unrestrained laugh. His expression was so unlike his usual self that I soon found myself laughing along with him. And then... what is this? Whoa! Flashbang! The light in my mind flared brighter than ever. Huh?
ん？どうかしたのかい？エマ。
I don't... Huh? Fragments of light blotted out my vision, conjuring forth a scene that I'd seen once long ago. No sooner had I said his name than everything changed. The lights began to coalesce, and the world before me shifted dramatically. Whoa. White light! Ah! The newly finished menage shined with a luster so beautiful. I almost had to think it was the work of magic. It was distant, faint and far away from me. Hey. That's Hugo back then, most likely. Oh, he had long hair before. Oh. I smiled and Hugo smiled right back at me.
本当だよ。こんなに褒められたのは初めてだ。自信はあったけれど、ここまでとは。
Told you, didn't I? I just knew everything would work out.
そうだったね。君が褒めてくれたから頑張れたよ。ありがとう。おかげで大成功だ。みんな目を輝かせて楽しんでいたね。
Yeah, he was the engineer before. Emma's in the scene. So they knew each other before. Within the light that blotted out my mind's eye, for just an instant the scene had played out. Was that a memory? If it was a memory, it wasn't a recent one. Though it was from a long time ago. It hadn't been here, of course. It was in some other amusement park, but where? That I couldn't remember. All that I knew for sure was that it was some sort of park. Oh. Hey Spencer, thanks for the hydrate. Hey Spencer. Details were fuzzy, but I knew that I'd watched a crowd of visitors come to the park just to see the beautiful ride for themselves. And Hugo was with me. Okay. Hey Spencer, how you doing? Hey Yuki. I remembered. It had been the same back then. We'd been together, we'd look each other in the eye and laughed. I've been here the whole time. Ah. You gonna do something arc for your session tomorrow? Oh, okay. We still need a level 200. We still need 2 level 200 poison wyverns. If only the RNG could. Me and Monsieur Hugo. No, just Hugo. We were friends. Watch it not be actually just friends. Going back to the poison cave with Sigurd and Mordred again. Oh my god, they're gonna kill a lot of dragons again. Oh my god. Gradually, the sea of light that had blotted out my vision began to subside, silently fading out into the dark of night. I also gave Sigurd the title. Oh. What'd you do? The glow of starlight dimmed along with it. Soon only the lamps by the path were left to illuminate the park. I still can't remember everything. But nevertheless, I now knew for a fact that we had been close enough to laugh by each other's side. Why wouldn't Hugo tell me that though? I thought back to the day we reunited at the Riviera. Yeah, he did act like he knew.
また君に会えるなんて。
But we're not really sure what their relationship were.
ヒューゴだよ。覚えていないかい？
7 years ago. Wait, if it were 7 years ago, Emma was 10. The Hugo we saw earlier was like there wasn't really much of a change, but
Emma? 少し疲れたかな？
I let myself sink into thought and seemed I'd made him worry about me in the process. I felt rather guilty about that, so I tried to snap myself out of it. I'm fine, thank you. I was just thinking that's all.
ずいぶん遅くまで引き止めてしまったね。門まで送ろう。
Alright, thank you, Hugo. Hugo had turned around, about to set off for the front gate, but the moment his name passed my lips, he stopped in his tracks. For just a moment, he looked happy. An instant later, however, a melancholic pall cast over his expression. It was only then that I realized my own mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
いや、いいんだよ。
He gazed at me, the look in his eyes more desolate than ever.
何か思い出した？
I couldn't possibly bring myself to hide the truth from him. Yes, but just a little. I still felt hesitant, though, so I tried to set his expectations accordingly before I began to explain. I remembered talking to you once at an amusement park. Felt like the two of us were very close. I was so casual with you back then. I think I must have slipped back into the habit. Hugo was silent. He didn't so much as nod. And I found myself unsure of what I should say next. Just how much should I tell him? I mean, you could just tell whatever you saw, right? Menu, save, and I save over here. Okay, it's either we were friends, weren't we? That's all in the past, though. Okay, so I'm not gonna pick the second option because I'm pretty sure that's not gonna give me any points, so... We were friends, weren't we? I remember that now.
友達。
Why does his tone seem like a... Oh, I'm sorry, was I wrong?
そんなことはないよ。大切な友達だった。
I thought so. We seemed like we were getting along so well after all.
そうか。他には
Everything past that was so dim, I could hardly make it out. I think we were at the unveiling of a newly made manège, but I can't say for sure.
マネージュ。
Can't remember any of these specifics though. I don't even know what amusement park we were at. Do you remember?
いや、確かにそういうことがあった気はするけれど、俺も具体的な場所や内容は覚えていないな。
So you're not looking at me while you say that. Sir. Not convincing.
もう7年も前のことだからね。仕方がないよ。
Sus. I still think he's keeping something a secret though. Eyes up here saying he wasn't looking at Emma directly when he said that, so I'm like, you're not saying the full truth, or are you? You're still hiding something. Hugo took a moment to gaze at the manège, or rather to gaze at the now darkened lights decorating it. When he spoke up once more.
このことは言おうかどうか迷っていたんだけれど、君が見つけたスターライツの原案は実は俺たち二人で考えたものだったんだ。
Okay, if that happened 7 years ago, Emma should be like 10. She was 10 years old 7 years ago though. And you're telling me that you guys were hanging out back then 7 years ago? What? I was completely taken aback by the sudden revelation. The two of us? You and I?
そうだよ。
Calls the cop?
夜にマネージュが光り輝いたらどんなに綺麗だろうと君が言うから、俺もそれに合わせて設計したんだ。
Yeah, he said that he's 25 right now at least. At present, he's 25 years old. 7 years ago, that's 18? If I'm doing the math right. He's 18, which, you know what, his appearance that they showed earlier makes sense. But I don't know about Emma. Hi noob over there on the YouTube chat. When live stream, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I am live at the moment.
そしていつか二人で実現しようと話した。でも俺たちはそれから会うこともなかったし、君は記憶を失っていたから、今となっては果たされない約束だと思っていたんだ。
I had no idea. Maybe that explained it. Maybe that's why my heart had leaped when I found the plans. Why I'd wished so dearly to see them brought to fruition. Looking back, it was strange how fixated I'd been on the idea. Perhaps the fact that I had made them with Hugo explained where all that motivation had come from. No, not perhaps. I'm certain that must be the case.
でも君は記憶がないなりにその約束を果たしてくれたね。
You could have said something sooner, though. Then again, I suppose it's my fault for forgetting in the first place. Sorry, Hugo. It was such an important promise, and I should never have forgotten it.
気にしなくていいよ。今こうして一番いい形で実現したんだからね。それに俺は。
Hugo paused. This time a hint of gloom came across his face as he carried
無理
on.
には思い出させたくない。君の負担になるようなら思い出さなくていい。そうやって君を申し訳ない気持ちにさせるくらいなら、全部俺の心の中に黙って押し込んでいたいくらいだ。
But that's just not fair. I was the one who lost her memories. It wasn't his fault in the least. And yet Hugo seemed to be far more at a loss than I was. His expression growing every darker. Well, allow me to say this at the very least. I certainly took my time about it. But I'm glad that I remembered as much as I have. I'm glad to know about our past. Thank you for keeping your promise.
こちら。
Okay. Gave me the slightest of nods and I decided to follow through with another request. Also, may I keep calling you by your name like I used to? I suppose I've been doing so this whole time, but I thought I should ask.
もちろんいいよ。話し方ももっと砕けたものでいい。その方が俺も嬉しいから。
The frown on his face softened, and he returned to his usual smile. I was relieved to see it. I haven't remembered everything just yet, but I'm getting there little by little. I'll rediscover those moments I lost in time. Okay, so remember, chat, our MC is only 17. Yeah, I know, right? And the last route we went through, the guy was 27. As I made my way home, I ran through the fragment I'd remember over and over in my mind. Wonder if there's anything I can do to help. I wonder if there's anything I can do to help me remember more. That memory was from 7 years ago, the year I lost. Then I would have been 10, and Hugo... He told me he's 25 now, didn't he? So he would have been 18, I think. That would explain why he seemed a little more childish than he does now. Chuckled to myself. The more I mulled over the memory, the more of the old Hugo I began to recall. Yes, that's right. He's a perfect gentleman these days, of course. But back then he was a boorish, if anything. He had a passion for monages, though, and poured everything into his engineering work. How could I have forgotten? Sergei even told me he used to be quite different. He told me it took effort for Hugo to learn to be as sociable as he is now. And now that I remembered a little about the old him, I'm no longer surprised at all to hear it. Even if the old Hugo was unfriendly, though, I still... I mean, yeah, he does look kinda an 18 years old guy, I guess.
フロランさんがそう言うなら仕方ないね。
I want to be good at something. I want a special skill like you do. And I want to do something for you too. That's why I thought so hard about this.
どんなこと？
I guess I can show you just a little. Promise not to tell
も
anyone.
ちろん。
Just like that, the younger me showed Hugo her magic. I used it to move a stuffed animal I was carrying. Making it run about in midair. Added salute. Bow, spin about, then bow once more.
すごい。生きているみたいだ。
Hugo applauded the stuffed animal's midair antics, his eyes wide with glee. Your automatons look like they're really alive when they move around, don't they? I just thought I'd try to copy them.
俺の真似か？ 嬉しいよ、エマ。
I can't do it anymore. I'm supposed to keep it secret. I did my best to obey my parents, forcing my own feelings to the wayside. Although they told me that magic wasn't bad by any means, they made it clear that I was to hide my powers from the world at large, at all costs. Part of me still felt an intense curiosity toward my powers, though. Curiosity and a certain sense of superiority as well. However, I didn't want those feelings to be denied, so I never opened up to anyone about them. Why was it, I wonder? Why was Hugo the only person I felt comfortable asking a question that had bothered me for so long? Hey, Hugo, is magic evil?
いや、
Hugo shook his head without hesitation and stepped toward me. Oh, yep.
魔法は
That
悪い
is a
ものじゃない。
10-year-old Emma.
そんなの使い方次第さ。
Yeah, that is a 10-year-old Emma.
実際、今の君の魔法は俺を笑顔にしてくれた。
Oh, also we have an ad
それ
break.
が悪いとは思えないよ。
We have an ad break, so I am gonna step away from the screen real quick. I'm gonna go open the lights. It is getting dark, so I'm gonna go open it up. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, I'm back. I'm back in time for ad break to be done. Okay.
君がそんなに不安になるのなら、俺が証明してみせるよ。 君の不安を取り払ってあげる。魔法は悪いものじゃない。
He was a truly kind person. In that sense, at least he hadn't changed a bit. Not to mention, I remember something else, something important. Deep within the dimmest, vaguest depths of my memories, phrase had always stood out, one that was very important to me. I think I missed this part. How old is Hugo? He is at present 25. So the flashbacks that are playing with him, as the engineer him, with the long hair one, he is 18. So that's 7 years ago. So he is 25 at the moment. Not that much then. Yeah. Those words had stayed with me for all these years, always lingering within my heart. So then, Hugo was the one who said that to me. In retrospect, Hugo had said those exact words to me on a number of occasions. He repeated them over and over as if to encourage me. Even though I didn't remember that we'd been friends, he persisted. Thank you, Hugo. I knew I could never thank him enough for everything he'd done for me. I found myself glancing back at the Riviera time and time again. As I walked home, my path lit by the stars above. Up is chapter 6.
それじゃあ今日もみんなよろしく頼むよ。
Let me save here. There's 3 chapters to go, so I'm thinking of saving it for next week though. I mean, it's been 3.5 hours, so I think that's a pretty good progress. So I think I'm good for now. I'll save it for next week. Yeah, I'll save 6, 7, and 8 for next week. Like that is on the 23rd next week. And I am actually getting hungry, so I think I should get dinner as well. Let's see. Anyone else playing any visual novel type game? So 2 days left till Christmas at that day. Yeah. Nom nom time. I wonder what's gonna be next week Wednesday. I think we're still playing Ark on Wednesday next week. Yeah, I think we're still playing Ark next week, but I don't know what our goal is gonna be. Let me check this friend I haven't raided in a while. Yeah, tomorrow is Ark as well. Okay, we'll give a present for Khan. Yeah, I will. This route is really interesting. Like, it makes you think what actually happened. Yeah. I'm good for the day. I'm gonna raid. You guys mind if I raid out to someone playing Valorant though? I haven't really raided this person in a while, so you guys mind? Yeah, will you guys mind if I raid out to someone who's playing Valorant though? Like, I know we play the VN, but yeah, I haven't raided into this person for a while. Also, they're Filipino, so you'll likely hear a lot of Tagalog. Yeah. Here's a raid message. Let me pull up the raid. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Arc. I think we're going into caves and stuff, if I remember what John said. And then after Arc, I'll be playing Honkai Star Rail for the update. We'll see how time that will be. It depends what time we'll finish with Arc. Yeah. Let's go raid out to Frankie. She's playing Valorant right now. And yeah. I haven't raided her in a while, so might as well raid her while I see her online. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.